To Introduction to Communication, Comm 101, Section 5151. This is the summer 2020 edition of this course. I am Dr. Rob Conrad Lozon. Please just call me Rob unless you really feel strongly about calling me doctor. My office is DH301, but you won't find me there. That's my office. Just don't vandalize it or whatever, I guess. My phone number is as stands. If you leave a voicemail, I'll be able to receive it. I won't pick up because I don't have my office phone, but I think sometime maybe this semester they're planning on finally like rerouting the number so it comes into my cell phone, but we'll see about that and see how all that works. Office hours are by appointment only. My email is as follows: rlozon@ccm.edu. Everything's online. You don't got to meet for anything. It's an asynchronous course. I'm sure you're all aware of that. It's a survey of the field of communication within a variety of contexts, including interpersonal, group, organizational, mass media, intercultural, international communication. Attention is given to understanding how communication is a fundamental life process in which the individual creates and shapes communicative situations. Here's the outcomes. So basically, 1, identify how communication affects all facets of life. 2, describe different types of human communication. And 3, explain when, how, and why human beings develop the tools necessary for communication. So there's a couple methods of instruction this semester. I typically teach this class in person, but now it's online, so I've changed things up a little bit. There's recitations. You'll have to watch some of my talking. Don't don't get scared or anything. I'm not gonna try to bore you out of your minds or anything. I'll try to keep it as short as I can. When I can, I think there's some more valuable ways of conveying this information, and I'll try to make it as close to the way that we learn in class as possible. There's discussion board activities. These are going to be like the gist, the center focus of how I teach this course. So discussion board activities are going to be crucial. That's going to be 20% of your grade. So make sure you're staying up with the discussion boards. Presentations. You're basically going to present your work in the discussion board. So typically what we do is on the day that an assignment is due in class, you will have to deliver a kind of a brief little summary of what your project was about. But we can't do that, obviously. So you'll have to basically write up a little something for the discussion board. I'm sure you guys will all be able to figure this out. There is one group presentation this semester. You will have to do group work virtually. I do believe strongly in, working as a group in this. This is part of communication. I don't just want you guys to be, communicating between yourselves and the professor. I don't think that's, the best way to kind of give you a survey of communication and help you practice with your communication. Really, you should come out of a communication course being able to articulate yourself a little bit better. Part of that is peer-to-peer. It's much different, speaking to your professor than it is speaking to one of your classmates. So you will have to do a group project. Don't be scared. I know group project is like the biggest fear of all students across the planet. Nothing's new. I used to hate group projects, but I do think they're valuable and beneficial. And I do think you guys will have no problem completing them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when that comes. So don't stress out about that. Assignments. There you go. Just you'll have to produce some things. The book Duck S and McMahon, DT 2018. Will retire this book after this semester. So you guys are the last ones to use this book. Boohoo. I'm not the biggest fan of the book, but we will use it for this one final semester. I guess the fortunate part of this is you guys have, 2 years of me teaching this book under my belt to, help you get through it, and to really kind of make your readings relevant to this. So please do read. I don't just list readings for the hell of it. I'm not just, um, assigning this to assign it. I really do believe that if you read before you dive into these discussions, your life will be much easier. And the readings are super simple. I don't think there's anything too difficult in these readings. So let's see, evaluation and grading here. Participation. You'll be expected to find a way to, participate in this course. Negative participation. I put physically. Obviously, there's going to be no physical thing. Obviously, if you don't hunt your classmates down or your professor or whatever, confront them, like take your mask off and spit on them or something like that. Don't physically do anything to anybody in this class. But don't, because it's an online class, don't verbally do anything to your classmates. I'm not going to put up with that. I'm not going to be like your high school teacher. Obviously, I teach college for a reason, and one of those reasons is because I don't want to have to, police you guys. If you are negatively participating, I really, I'm going to ask you to, step back and reflect on this stuff, and we'll see about how it goes on a case-by-case basis. It's not going to be tolerated. All assignments will be evaluated based on their adherence to the guidelines. Presentations will be evaluated based on the preparation made by the individuals and groups involved. And then the outcomes assessment. That's your little standardized final exam. Oh, what happened here? There we go. Grade calculation here. Activities or discussion boards are 20% of your grade. There's a McLuhan presentation. That's your group project. That's 10%. There's a Goffman project, 10%. Cultural immersion, 10%. Outcomes assessment. Final exam, 10%. I hate exams. I really just don't like exams. So 10% of your grade is the final exam. So if you hate exams too, like me, okay, then, don't worry about it, because even if you fail it, it won't take your grade down from an A to a B. If you do everything else in good faith, you will still have an A in this class. So you won't be, graded based on your adherence to test taking. Resume, organizational research assignment, 10%. Meme assignment, 10%. Cultivation project, 10%. Non-digital experience, 10%. Basically, every project you have in this class and exam is 10%. And it looks like there's a lot of work, but it's really not that much. I spread everything out because, I don't want it to be like a project is worth 30% of your grade and then you just totally bomb it. And then, your grade just sucks. Like, I don't know, I can't, help you at that point. If you bomb a 30%, project, then, you're done in this class. You go from a to a D real quick. So, all these little projects help spread the pain out a little bit. There's the grade breakdown here. I'll let you look at that. Here's the course calendar. Let me explain this because I tried to make this as simple as possible. There's an activity that tells you what you should be doing on this week. Because you're not coming to class, so this is kind of like, it tells you like review guidelines for the cultivation project, non-digital experience, cultural immersion, and Goffman project. Review syllabus and discussion boards. Begin discussion boards. Straight up. Readings. It tells you what you should be reading during this week. All this stuff needs to get done in this week that it's assigned. Assignments do. Begin cultivation project. That's what you should be doing. I'm not going to tell you every single time, but you're not handing anything in on the week of June 30th. You're going to begin the cultivation project, which basically is, and pay attention, you're going to plant a seed. That's the first thing you're going to do in this class is you're going to find some dirt. I don't care where you find it. You're going to find a seed. You go to your pantry, you see if your mom's got a bean in there, okay? And just plant your seed. I don't need you to do much more than that, but I want you to begin cultivating one seed this semester, and I want you to journal about it and write about that. So the week of June 30th, you got to plant a seed. If you don't do it today, it's not going to help you, in week 7 when, everything is said and done, okay? Then there's the discussion boards. Now, the way that I do this is along content. There's not going to be a week one discussion, okay? It's going to be content based. So you're going to have an introduction discussion, a mana kamana discussion, a tracking discussion, a chapter 2 discussion. These are all going to be things that you have to do. So you have 4 discussions in the first week. You have to go in and you have to do all of those things, and each discussion requires a different posting in each discussion board. But you will see not every week is as loaded. So, chapter 6 discussion, non-digital experience discussion, there's 2 in week 2. All right? Then you have 3 in week 3. And then you move on to, the last week, there's only 1 discussion. And that's how it goes. So I hope this is pretty straightforward. Make sure you keep up with the readings. If you don't do the readings, you're going to have to cram everything at the end of the semester, and that's not going to be fun. Let me just explain real quick how this course is different from my in-person course. I don't do quizzes. I don't have this broken up into units. I typically have this broken up into units. I don't have units in this class. I think, when we go back into person, maybe I'll just not do quizzes again. I don't know that the students genuinely benefited from them. The only reason why I gave them was to help give them an idea about what the exam is going to look like. But you see here these assignments due. It lists all of these assignments, and this is what you have to turn in on this week. Anytime during the week, so don't worry about it. Week of June 30th, begin the cultivation project. Week of June 6th, so the non-digital experience is due on the week of July 6th, sorry. So July 6th, if you turn it in on July 12th, you're still on time, okay? Now, when we go to, week of August 10th here, okay? The semester ends, right, on August 15th. I think that's the date, which means you have to submit your project, at the beginning of that week. But we'll talk about that as it goes. But I'm pretty lenient with this, when you turn in these projects. So when you see here, the assignments are due during that week. So anytime during that week is fine with me. College-wide policies information, email, communicate with me via your CCM email. Copyright, accessibility, hit me up. Emergencies, done. That's it. Okay. All right, move on to the next portion of the class, I guess. There's the syllabus.